Do you want to know the real secret to success? It's probably not what you think. I get people that tell me all the time, the secret to success is work hard and you just got to put your head down. That's not necessarily the case. Today I'm going to take you through my 5 tips that are going to really provide you a strategy and an outline that will help you improve your work ethic, completely change how you look at how you're doing everything on a daily basis, and make sure that you have a strategy and a system that leads to success. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you can get all of our latest videos. Leave us a comment. We'd love to know your feedback and any other videos you'd like to see or questions that you have that we might be able to help you with. But let's go ahead and jump on in. So let's start out with number 1. You have to have complete clarity on your why. I get this all the time. Well, Brendan, I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to do. I'm not sure what it is. You're never going to wake up one day and go, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do with my life. I wish it worked that way. It doesn't, let me tell you. So you're never going to have this aha moment where you have this clear, perfect situation on figuring out your why. And I don't even like that, your purpose or whatever it is. Here's the thing. The easiest way to make this happen is to create a list. So when you create a list, you want to start writing down this list of things that you want to accomplish, kind of like a bucket list. So it might be, travel to France, right? So it might have travel on it. It could have, I want to have 3 kids. It could have all of these different things. So whatever this list is for yours, right? You got to make this list. Then you got to go back over that list again and really make it even more specific. That's the problem that most people have when we're talking about your why and trying to have clarity, is you don't have enough clarity on exactly what you want. And so when there's this gray area, it makes you just kind of go, yeah, well, I guess I'm good. I mean, I don't really have anything to move forward to, so I'm kind of just fine being average. That's the problem. We don't want you to be average. So we got to figure out a number of these things that we want. Now, we know in our culture, most of these things, no matter how you look at it, right? Charity, whatever it is that you really want to help with, it's going to equal a certain amount of money. That's just the raw truth, right? It's going to take money to do a number of these things. So when you're really figuring out a number of ways to become more productive and successful, is first establish what you want, be very specific on it. Second, we got to figure out how much money it's going to take to make sure all of this happens at an exceptional level, not at a mid-range or okay level, at an exceptional level. All right, so that's number 1. Then number 2, to be able to do that, you have to understand what your key drivers are. Now, key drivers are the things that we know if we do just these things, that everything else will fall into place. Some people like to call it the 80-20 rule. I don't really care for the 80-20 rule because that's such a broad stroke. 20% of your activities give you 80% of your results and all that stuff. Yeah, that's great. I'm talking get really microscopic on it. What are the specific things that you do that when you do them, it equals success? So in the real estate industry, this could be, I know every month that I do 4 7th level open houses, that I produce 2 to 4 new clients every single month. And out of those, that turns into X amount of closings. Your key driver would be 4 open houses, 7th level open houses. If you don't know what a 7th level open house is, check out one of our other videos or go to our coaching website. But so we know when we do that, when I have those results, it comes from me doing these specific activities. Another key driver would be contacts, right? Conversations about buying or selling real estate. So when we're having conversations about buying or selling real estate, we know when we have a certain amount of them, that equals X amount of appointments, which turns into X amount of deals. So maybe it's contacts. Maybe it's networking events. Maybe it's coffee. It could be a number of these things that are your key drivers, that when you do these activities, it turns into business. Now, here's what a key driver is not. And I get this a lot. So Brendan, what I'm going to do is just really really try to connect with my clients. Okay, so how do you measure that? What do you mean? Well, I don't know. I guess I'll do some pop buys and maybe a client appreciation event, something like that. Okay, all right. Get it very microscopic, right? Where we're trying to say that we know when we do these very specific things, these things come from it. One that's a big one for us, for my organization, is contacts, or we call them leads, right? Leads in CRM. So we know every time we put an X amount of leads in our CRM and we do our process and build relationships and nurture our clients, it will equal X amount of closed sales or profit. Okay? That's an easy thing for us to measure. So you would have to know your metrics and know, okay, in my CRM, whether you use Real Geeks, Boomtown, Command, whatever it is that you're using, this would help you do that. Key drivers are worthless if you cannot measure them. Number 3, we have to have tons, and I mean tons, of visuals. So visual scoreboards are everything. Not only a vision board, so a vision board is obviously number 1. If you're not doing a vision board every year, that's ridiculous, right? Obviously what we think about most happens. Focusing on the things that we want to accomplish, we want to have out of life, whatever it is, you got to first start with that vision board. So vision board could easily be number 1. Then the next thing you want to do is make it fun and have a visual scoreboard. So one of my good friends, David Fowler, he's an agent down in Savannah, Georgia. If you ever have any business for Savannah, reach out to David Fowler. We talked about our Mets and haven't Mets. So he knew that he needed to make a certain amount of Mets, people that know him, love him, that would do real estate with him. So we talked about it, and he has this big yard, and there was all these pine cones out in his yard. And he had these buckets that he would use for closing gifts that said the Fowler home team on them, really fun. And what he decided from our conversations is to take 100 pine cones, because he wanted to add 100 people into his system. And then for every pine cone, he would take it from one bucket and just move it over and put it in the other bucket. So he would start with the 100 that he had over here. He's gonna move them one by one once he puts them into his system and puts them on a 33 touch. That's a fun visual. That works for him. On our team, we have super bouncy balls in jars that we move over one side to the other. You could use marbles. You could use an actual scoreboard. So maybe you have, for 4 quarters of the year, this is one of my favorite ones, just mountains, okay? And then on your mountains, you have targets that are going up the mountain that have little tick marks on it. Open houses, leads entered in the system, whatever it is. And then the biggest thing with visuals is make sure when you get to the actual summit that you have a party, right? You celebrate. So you got to have some sort of, fun and excitement and celebration once this is accomplished. Whether it's you get the whole, team together and have a park day, whether it's if you're an individual agent, you take yourself to the spa, or you go golfing, or you do whatever it is, or you do something that's extravagant. Not something that's like regular, something extravagant when you've actually hit your drivers for your visual scoreboard. These are the things that help people have a lot of success and not wake up every day going, what should I be doing? And then you have to live or die by your calendar. Now people are like, well, Brendan, I don't want a time block, and Brendan this. You have to. In real estate, the easiest thing is no appointments ever before noon. Okay? No appointments before noon, ever. If you can get into a process of just fixing this one thing in your calendar, I guarantee your success will double or triple within the first 6 months. Agents, professionals, everyone on earth always wants to make an excuse why it's so imperative that they have to do something every morning with a client, or some excuse comes up. I know people getting your hair done, not me obviously, but people getting their hair done at 10 o'clock in the morning. No. That morning time is protected for lead generation, growing your business, and doing all of the activities so that you can have appointments in the afternoon, evenings, and on the weekends. You change this one thing, it'll change everything. The second thing with your calendar is make sure that you plan things out in advance. Plan your mailers out 6 months in advance. Plan your education out 6 months 12 months would be preferable, but 6 months in advance. Make sure you have everything blocked, and make sure you have your family time and vacations blocked. That should be the first block. Family and vacations and personal, then additional education, so conferences, webinars, seminars, everything you're going to be doing. Then the next thing down from that is the things that you have to do on a regular basis. Mailers, social media, all of these things, as long as it's still protecting that 3 to 4 hours every morning for lead generation, and whatever that means to you. Lead generation could mean calling people, connecting on social, texting, door knocking. It could mean a number of things, but that time is sacred. So you will live and die by your calendar. No appointments before 12 o'clock. Number 4, we gotta tell everyone. The more people that know about what's going on with your goals, the more people that know what's happening and what you're wanting to have out of life, the more likely you are to have success with it. So you need to make sure that, first of all, if you have a significant other, that they know the plan, they know the drivers, they know the things that happens when the drivers are hit. I know so many people that are kind of like just in the dark about, well, I just go to work and then I sometimes do some deals, and come on. This takes everyone involved. Every single person needs to be a part of this. And your managing broker, your team leader, your buddy or buddyette at the office, make sure it's visual, make sure it's everywhere. Get out of your ego, right? Get out of your mind of being like, well, if I actually tell somebody and then I don't do it, I'll feel bad. Huh? What are you doing this for then? That's the whole point. The more people that know, the more accountability you have, the more likelihood of it being accomplished. And then lastly, you got to burn the ships. What I mean by burn the ships is there is no tomorrow. There is no plan B. There is no backup plan. Burn the ships means you come to the island, you take the torches and you light the ships on fire because you're never going back, right? You're never going back. So that mentality, it's gotta be there where there's this fear of, not even a fear, this confidence level that no matter what happens, this is it. I'm only going forward. If I don't make it in real estate, I'm not going back to my corporate job. If I don't make it in my business, I'm not gonna go back to XYZ. This is it. I only have one shot. I'm going to give it everything I have. I'm going to wake up every day acting in that nature to make sure that I always stay motivated, because this whole thing can change your entire life. And you got to ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to have? Successful people do what we just went through. They focus. They have drivers, they have a calendar that supports them. Everyone in their world knows what they're trying to accomplish. They have vision boards, they have visual scoreboards everywhere, and they wake up every day going, there's never going back. I'll never work for somebody else ever again. I will never not make $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, $5 million a year, because I have a commitment to my charities, to my friends, to my families. You don't want to let these people down if you know what your why was in that list originally and you have absolute clarity on it. I want you to have success with this. I know you'll have success with this. If you need more accountability or just accountability at all, go to BrendonBartic.com, join our Elite Progression series. It's a community of top agents and elite agents across the country that are all on the same plan, that are working towards the same mission to have an extraordinary life. Check out everything we have to offer. And then, of course, let me know your feedback on the video. Let me know what you're doing to have success. Let me know what you're doing to improve your work ethic. I'd love to hear from you. That's what we know. That's what we know works. And as always, I wish all of you great success.